Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your Fishers Game Day, and boy is it week 4. We got your number 10 ranked Fishers Tigers taking on your rival number 5 HSC Royals, and it is Mudsock week. If you cannot tell, this place is rocking. Aiden, what do you see from the weather today?
Absolutely. I mean, obviously the place is rocking, and it's a perfect weather day for it. We're talking 10 degrees warmer than last week. No wind, barely a cloud in the sky. The sun's out. It's just absolutely football weather. Tommy, what did you see from last week?
And yeah, definitely to that point, these players are going to have to stay hydrated. I was seeing something feels like in the upper 80s to the 90s, so definitely hydration going to be a key factor. Like Aiden was saying, last week, your Fishers Tigers beat the Noblesville Millers 42-17 in blowout fashion, and the HC Royals defeated the Avon Orioles 17-14. Now, Cash, I don't know if you can see, but behind us, what do you think what is the student section for tonight, and how are these? Do they bring in student section?
So I don't know about you guys, but all I see is a pool of red. These Tigers are absolutely bleeding red tonight. I mean, this is absolutely insane from your Tigers. We have never been like this at home this year yet. This is what we want to see every game from your Tigers, Mudsock or not. But obviously with this being Mudsock, they're wearing blue, we're wearing red. This is a tale of times. This is what we like to see. And I mean, it's going as perfect as we could say. Tommy, what did we see last week from these Tigers?
You know, as I said earlier, Cash, your Tigers did defeat the Noblesville Millers 42-17, and you know, it was a great offensive game all around. Obviously scoring 42 points. A lot of people are going to get a piece, and that's exactly what happened. A lot of the JV guys got to play who we haven't seen yet. Backup quarterback Kellen Miller got a couple of reps, so good to see him get some varsity snaps. Hopefully he gets more confident as the days go on. It was just all around a good game from start to finish, you know?
Absolutely, and you love that opportunity for your backup guys, the guys that might not normally see the game. You like to have those guys get some opportunities early on in the season. Obviously, we got to talk about the reason why these guys get an opportunity. Number 3, our running back, Ryan Timbalimbu. Another incredible game. Week in and week out, he puts up these type of numbers. 124 yards on only 9 carries. 3 touchdowns on the ground as well. Just another phenomenal week from him. Obviously, he came out of the game early when the score went up, but he's one of the guys that enabled it. Another great performance, actually a school record performance. Number 11, our top receiver, Vincent Rossi. 9 receptions for 225 receiving yards and added 2 touchdowns through the air. Another one of the guys that gave some of our backups an opportunity to come in towards the end of the second half. Handing it over, Cash, what did you think about our quarterback play last week?
Well, if you want to talk about Mr. Consistent, someone who's handing the ball off to Ryan, someone who's throwing the ball to Vincent to get that record, let's take a look at Gage Strogel with 278 yards in the air, 3 passing touchdowns, and a QBR of 147.9. I mean, when he rolls out of the pocket, you just know that pass is complete. He completes our team, actually, to use that. And I mean, we wouldn't be where we are without our quarterback, Gage Sturgill. Let's flip sides of the ball to Emmanuel Coward, number 6, linebacker. Led our team in tackles with 13 total tackles and 2 tackles for loss. I mean, starting off the season, our defense didn't look anything extraordinary. Didn't come up to what we wanted to be. And I mean, just to take a look at the jump it's taken from the beginning of the season to now, it makes all of us happy, helps us sleep at night, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about a jump, not only from a defensive standpoint, but from individual player standpoints. We got to talk about our defensive end who stepped up for Josh Wilkins when he went down with that injury. Number 91, Cooper Stout, with last week with 2 sacks. I mean, he's someone who just stepped in, but I mean, this guy is making a case to play every single day, even when Josh is back. Just to be a rotational guy, I mean, he's someone you love to have in that rotation. And then also to go back to our defensive backs, we're going to talk about, again, number 21, Atticus Finley, our safety. You know, last week he had an interception and a huge hit, which is something very similar to Lawrence North as he popped their quarterback. But this guy, I mean, when you look his way, you kind of just want to look straight back to the other way. You don't want him to be on the side you're throwing to, because that guy, I mean, he's a force to be reckoned with.
No doubt. Let's dive into HSC and kind of their season and their players. So obviously the Royals come into this game 3-0, beating Carroll, North Central, and their closest game of the year so far last week against Avon, 17-14. You know, not a bad great season so far for the Royals. They've been playing well, get their bearings. They're definitely got a lot of confidence going into today, being 3-0, and it'll be a great test for your Tigers tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think tonight this will be HSC's biggest competition they'll have all year. And, I mean, it's Mudsock Week. No matter how good the teams are, it's always going to be a good game. But the reason why they're such a winning factor and such a winning club is because of their head coach, Michael Kelly. And if you know Indiana football, he is one of the most prolific coaches we've had in the state. He is 45-14 at HSC, and he's actually 7-3 against your Tigers in his career with HSC. But I mean, last year he had a tough time against us as he lost both games. But this guy has a phenomenal team year in, year out, especially with that same offense he runs, where he has that balanced offense. He loves to run that football down your throat, but he's not afraid to sling it. I mean, you'll see a couple deep balls tonight. That's just Michael Kelly offense, and you're going to see that a lot tonight and for the rest of the season.
Absolutely, and we got to talk about their stellar defense too. I mean, so far this season, they're only letting up 9 points a game. Definitely a thing that opposing offenses will look at and will struggle against, as they have early in the season. 4 sacks per game, 2.5 turnovers a game. This is a team that can get home, that can get to their quarterback, they can get themselves extra possessions through turnovers, as they have so far this season, and that's a big focal point of tonight's game. Minimizing the turnovers, maximizing our possessions, and scoring on the possessions we have, not giving them extra chances to score on the ball.
Now, let's take a look at some of the key players on this Royals team. Number 3, Terry Walker, quarterback transfer from Lawrence Central, and he's actually committed to Duke. Number 3 player in the state. Kind of funny, I mean, number 3 player in the state committed to Duke. He only has 170 passing yards a game with 40 yards on the ground. I don't really see that as an opposing threat tonight. I'm just going to put that out there. Terry, a lot of things got posted about him on Fisher's Barstool. I don't know if that's going to get in his head tonight or not, but number 3 player in the state with these stats, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the stats tell the whole story about him. He's definitely a focal point on this offense and in the state. I mean, he is a phenomenal player. But there is one thing I saw last week. A couple of our Fisher's Tigers were out at Culver's in HSC. You know, that's their spot after Friday Night Lights. They like to go to Culver's. And Terry Walker, I tell you not, he was eating a cheeseburger getting filmed. They filmed him going into Culver's. I mean, maybe people want to see that, but
I have a question. Did he eat more cheeseburgers that night than touchdowns he has on the season? Because I'm pretty sure he only has 2 touchdowns on the season.
I mean, we're kind of setting the bar a little low, but
yeah, I mean, I don't know. But I don't know why he got filmed, but I mean, good for him. He's definitely a good player. Got a lot of respect for him. But the guy he's been dumping the ball off to, number 5, Carter Reed, he is a big boy that could run through this team. Last year, he was kind of the reason they had all their points last year. He kind of dominated the run game for them. As a sophomore last year, he was kind of just a full-on wrecking ball running through O-lines last year. This season, he's averaging 72 yards a game and 12 touchdowns last season, but he's averaging 72 yards this year. You know, I think he's a phenomenal player that we got to look forward to. And as you know, our run game, it's not the greatest, but we got to stop him tonight. That's the key to the game, him and Terry on the ground.
And I want to talk about this Michael Kelly offense. When you were talking about slinging the football, you got to take a look at number 4, Kendrick Pennybaker. I mean, he is a deep threat. He's been averaging 94 yards a game. He's just definitely a focal point on this offense that we really need to stop. And I mean, I have belief in my cornerback, Carson Ellams, because he's going to be on him most of the game. It's going to be a great matchup, and I'm excited to see that. Speaking on Kendrick Pennybaker, he actually went to all 4 of us' middle school, Riverside Golden Hawks, and Tommy Klinker here actually shared a receiver room with him.
Wow.
So we might know kind of what to expect to see from him tonight, and I'm excited to see what we can do to stop that, see what he can bring to the game tonight.
Absolutely. Definitely 2 legends on the field tonight. One of them's behind the booth, and one of them's
sitting to our right.
Obviously talking about their stout defense, leading the way at linebacker, number 16, Drew Babb, 7.5, tackles per game, including a sack a game. Here's one of these guys that we're talking about that can wreck a game for a quarterback. He can get home, he can stuff the run, he can stop the pass game by getting home. One of these guys that's really disruptive on the line. I'm sure our line is ready for him, and I'm sure Gage is ready for him to come after him tonight too, providing that pressure. Also, number 1, our corner, Kyan Kelly. Very fast corner, absolutely. I mean, Carson Elums was kind of a comparison that I heard in terms of his speed. 6 tackles and 1 pass breakup last year. So they have guys at multiple facets of their defense, multiple levels of guys that can, create turnovers, create plays in the secondary. Looking forward to seeing the South defense tonight and looking to see how our Tigers can exploit.
I just want to speak, though, he had 6 tackles, and that led their team in tackles last week. Yeah. So I just wanted to put that out there as a point for our offense to really kill tonight.
Of course. And folks, there's no question this defense is potent. It's strong. It's probably better than it's better than their offense. The defense is where they win games. And but they do get a little handsy. They do get a little undisciplined at times. They average 8 penalties a game, and they did have 9 last week. So if your Tigers can get them, catch them on the little, we could, that could be a point of emphasis. We could kind of win the game there almost in terms of penalties. Their offense is only averaging 20 points a game, compared to our 28, 29?
Absolutely.
So we got a high-octane offense for their kind of more defensive focus. We're more offense. We kind of give up a lot of points, but, they only allow 9 points a game. That's a good stat. That is something you can look at. So it's definitely going to be a good matchup. Almost 2 polar opposites tonight. We're in store for a great matchup, folks. Honestly, we are.
I'd like to add the penalties. I mean, obviously that was something we talked about last week, having penalty troubles. I think we can't emphasize enough how much these penalties, us versus them, could really determine the game, especially when we get into the 3rd and 4th quarters. I really think we need to focus on being disciplined, forcing them into penalties. Obviously, we got the crowd behind us. If we can force them into some false starts or some offensive penalties to back them up and make their drives that much harder, that would be a huge success for us tonight.
100% agree, Aiden.
Yeah, I feel like we got to talk about some history. You're looking at this, you got the sea of blue, the sea of red. It's just the whole town is coming together. But, it's kind of like an interesting story, It comes back to the 19th century when there was a saloon bar, a fight that broke out, and apparently Fisher's, I wasn't around at the time, so I'm not 100% sure.
I wasn't either, sir. So.
But it was a very swampy place, very muddy, and people would walk around with their socks on, and they'd walk into these saloons with just completely muddy socks, and I guess that's kind of how the name came upon. But something else is that even though we're just broadcasting this football game, this is not the only Mudsock event we have all year. There are actually 19 sports that go into taking on the overall trophy, and the winner of the majority of the sports take home the overall Mudsock trophy. There is a Mudsock trophy for each representative sport. But, it all comes down to all 19 sports. This is just one sport, as big as it may be. That's what it comes down to as a school versus school kind of thing.
And I want to say, if you want to hear more on those games, you can check out the podcast from this morning. We went into a lot of those Mudsock games, so yeah. Also, if you can't tell, it is absolutely booming in here. This Mudsock game has an average attendance of 8,000, and today there's an estimated crowd of 2,000 more. We have 10,000 people in the building, and it might even be more. Look at this crowd, guys. This is just phenomenal. This is amazing, and I'm glad that this kind of game can really, bring people together in the state of Indiana.
Absolutely. Electric. All-time series, the Royals do lead your Tigers 17-13 in that series. Definitely, we're trying to, bridge that gap a little more, and it starts tonight. The HSC recency, they are 4-2 in the last 3 years also, and that, it could be 4-3 tonight, easily.
Absolutely. We would love to see that pull closer. HSC was a team that won 4 straight against us. 2 years ago, they beat us twice. Obviously, we had a reel with interviewing Coach Funk. He talked about those overtime losses in back-to-back years in Mudsock games. Really devastating for the Tigers, but hard fought, great games. Obviously, 2 years ago, they lost 35-34. And then they also would go on to lose sectionals 38-21. But last year was a big bounce back, obviously. We won 37-35 in the Mudsock. We won 44-41 in the sectionals. We seem to play them in the sectionals quite a bit. And obviously, the ending of that game, just phenomenal. Last second drive.
Aiden, honestly, that's arguably, in my opinion, the best moment in this matchup's history. You had a backup Caden Hill, lead a game-winning drive. I think it was a minute left with maybe one, or I don't think he had any timeouts, honestly. And I mean, it ended with a game-winning touchdown from tight end Jace Ruggles with time expiring. I mean, what a great moment to snap your drought, win your first sectional championship in over a decade. I mean, poetic, honestly, poetic.
Yeah, I don't think it gets much better. But I don't know about you guys. I kind of want to break down this game a little bit more. With last week the Tigers winning against Noblesville at Noblesville, they remain undefeated on the road. And as we talked about earlier this year, last year they were
starting them within their own half of the 50 would be a big benefit, obviously, than starting at our half of the 50. So
absolutely,
letting over 30 yards per kickoff return, that's something we could definitely clean up. Field position's a huge thing tonight. And then also moving on, only 73 yards allowed passing. I want to highlight that because we forced them into running the ball in a game where they're down by 3 or 4 scores. A game that they have to come back, a game that every drive must be points. They couldn't get the pass game going. They had to keep it on the ground because we were able to break up the pass game. Really impressive from the Tigers through the air that night.
Yeah, the huge reason for that is number 2, Carson Ellums, your Wisconsin commit. I think the big reason was he stayed on the field the whole game when he was healthy. I mean, obviously he came in at halftime when we were dominating them, but when he's on the whole time, it really shuts down one of the receivers. And we want to give him a huge shout out today, not because he's one of our phenomenal players, but it's actually his birthday today. Happy 18th birthday to Carson Ellums.
Happy 18th birthday, Carson.
Yeah, we like to see big things from him today, and I think he's a little extra motivated for his 18th birthday.
Absolutely.
And this defense is consistently starting to look a little bit better since that Carmel game. In the last week, they only allowed 3 points when our varsity starters were in, as they were up 35-3, and then our JV guys started to come in. That's why the score's a little bit indicative of what we're saying. But I think this defense is really confident right now. They're going into playing really well last week, and even the week before against Lawrence North, even though they allowed 28 points, it doesn't show how well they played. I think they're going to bring a lot of energy and a lot of confidence into playing these Royals.
You're 100% right, and that's exactly what that's exactly what a good defense has. They have confidence at every position, from the D-line to the linebackers to the secondary. Everybody's got confidence, and that shows in performance, which is huge for a game like this. A little bit of an injury report for you guys. D-tackle Josh Wilkins suffered a leg injury before the season started. We have not seen him yet, but we do hear from him that he feels good, he feels ready. We could see a little him tonight in a couple of snaps, probably not a little limited reps, but definitely some optimism there. If not this game, definitely in the next game or coming very, very, very soon. Good to see him return, but obviously, like Cam was saying, Cooper Stout has stepped in and done a great job for your Tigers, so it's going to be good to have him back. On the other side of the ball, number 85 tight end Mason Cantwell hurt his hand against Lawrence North. He's still going to be out, but I expect to see him pretty soon in the coming weeks.
And number 86 sophomore Keegan Gates actually stepped in at tight end for Mason Cantwell, and he did a very solid job. He had a couple receptions, but I want to talk about some of the downfield blocks he threw, some of the running blocks he threw. Those are the things that don't pop up in the stat pads, and I mean, he did a very, very good job at doing that. Now, we have a really great matchup here tonight, obviously not just because it's a rivalry, but a lot of the things we do cancel out, as our offense took a leap, averaging 4 more points per game, going from 28 points per game last year to 32 this year, while their defense allows very, very little points per game. So it's going to be a great matchup on that side, vice versa for our defense and their offense.
I mean, that's a huge thing. We're allowing 31 points per game, and they're allowing 9. That's the story of the day today. We've got to clean that up, hopefully meet in the middle somewhere. But the biggest thing, my biggest keys to the game is we got to stay focused all game long. I mean, I got a stat for y'all that you guys aren't really going to believe. We scored a total of 31 points in the first quarter, but then you get to the fourth quarter, a total of 3 points in 3 weeks.
And those 3 points are from Micah Hillen's game-winning kick at the buzzer. That's really not what we want to see.
Yeah, we just got to stay focused all game long and keep that offense going.
Got to keep the pedal down, especially to put this team away. You can't give them any inch. If they get it, you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. So we got to keep the pedal down, keep a foot on their throats, and really put this game away early.
And that's looking at that Lawrence North game where Micah Hillen scored the game-winning kick. That was a game where we were up by 2 touchdowns. We only had to kick a game-winning kick because we let them back into the game. That's
kind of weird because we have the best students in the state, but I don't think it's anything to do with the students. I think that the players they get a little too amped up, but they got to change that because last year we went 1 of 4 on our home turf, and this year we went 0 and 1, losing to Carmel. But we got to change that this week. Let's get our first week on the win.
This is gonna be fun, guys.
Yeah. Well, to change things over, we got a little activity for you. It's Mudsock Week. We got to have some fun. We got some inflatable costumes. They're going to be racing. We got Eagles versus Dinosaurs. I hope you guys like this.
Let's get into it, guys. Let's get positions.
So I'll explain the activity for you guys. We got all of them doing a job. So what's basically going to happen is we've got 2 dinosaurs and we've got 2 eagles. And what we're going to do is we're going to have them race about 50 yards. The track behind us, we're going to switch cameras. We're going to have them go to about the 50-yard line. We're going to make them do around 10 spins and come back, tag their partner. First team, and the second guy will do the same thing. First team to do that will win our challenge for our Mudsock game day activity. They're lining up now.
All right, we got the dinosaurs on this side, we got the eagles on this side. All right, who am I here with right here? Warner. All right. And what's our strategy for this race today? All right. And bringing it over to the eagle side, we have Coder,
Here's Haney.
and what's your guys' strategy going into this race? Absolutely. So for this game, as Tommy Pry already mentioned, we start at this red dot dash, and you're going to run all the way down to the 40-yard line where Cash is standing. We're going to have 1 contestant from each team, so 1 dinosaur and 1 eagle, take off and run. You're going to go all the way down to where Cash is. You're going to spin around in circles, 10 circles. You're going to run back, tag your teammate. Your teammate's going to do the same thing. Run back, spin around 10 times, run back. The first person to have narration on this. Cross this finish line back to this red.
And actually, folks,
be our winner of this contest tonight.
Tiger Cage member Jack Powell is going to be here narrating this race for us.
Let's go. We got this.
Good to have you on.
Appreciate it, Tom.
So who do you think's going to win, dinosaurs or eagles?
So the contestants.
Who do we got under the
So it's Hayden Warner and Connor and the dinosaurs, and it's Pierce and Jack Cutter.
I'm going to go sleeper pick, Pierce and Jack Cutter.
Pierce is low-key fast is what I hear.
Yeah, Pierce is fast and Jack's on the ice, so we'll see how that translates to the track here.
Boys, looks like they're about to start.
First contestants, when you step to the line. Our second contestants, please stand back. Tommy, do you want to give us a countdown?
Alrighty, on your marks. Get set. Go!
And the mascots are
And they're off.
They are the way down. 10 circles now for both.
10 circles. I love that. I love that.
Dinosaurs and the Eagles are both neck and neck. Here comes the dinosaurs.
Oh, going the wrong way. Going the wrong. That's what the spins do in that suit.
We're gonna need a big catch up here.
There, hop on there, right this right now.
The dinosaurs are
Other
on the
Tiger
circles.
Cage
The
leader,
Eagles
Ty
still
Puncher
need to go.
Curse.
Collision.
The dinosaurs running
Collision.
back.
Taking off after him.